Hello everyone, this is the sixth online tutorial video for class 8 history. The topic is the chapter from trade to territory. We were doing this chapter in the previous videos. We will continue with this chapter. We were looking at Bengal and how British East India Company gained control over the Bengal Suba directly from the Mughal Emperor. Now we look at how the Marathas clashed with the British East India Company and how they were defeated. Now, from the late 18th century, the company also sought to curb and eventually destroy Maratha power. With the defeat in the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761, the Third Battle of Panipat was between the Marathas and Ahmed Shah Abdali. In that battle, Marathas were defeated by Abdali. So, Maratha dream of ruling India from Delhi, that dream became shattered. They were divided into many states under different Maratha chiefs who were called Maratha Sardars, belonging to different dynasties, like four principal dynasties, that is Sindhia, Holkar, Gaikwad and Bhosle. These chiefs were held together in a confederacy by the Maratha Peshwa, who became the effective military and administrative head, and now the Maratha Peshwa, who became the powerful head of the Maratha Confederacy, he ruled the confederacy from his capital at Pune. Now, two of the best Maratha statesmen, best Maratha politicians of the 18th century were Mahadaji Shinde and Nana Fadnavis. Now, the Marathas were subdued by the East India Company in a series of wars. In the First Anglo-Maratha War that ended in 1782 with the Treaty of Salbai, there were no clear victors. So, the First Anglo-Maratha War was a tie. The Second Anglo-Maratha War was fought on different places, resulting in British gaining Orissa and territories north of the Yamuna, including Agra and Delhi. So, in the Second Maratha War between the Marathas and the British actually gained territories from the Marathas in Orissa and also in Agra and Delhi. Finally, the Third Anglo-Maratha War crushed the Maratha power completely. The Peshwa was removed by the East India Company and sent away to Bithur. From Pune, the Peshwa was exiled to Bithur. Where is Bithur? Near Kanpur. The company now had complete control over the territories south of Vindhya. It is clear that from the early 19th century, the company pursued an aggressive policy of territorial expansion. Under Lord Hastings, this Lord Hastings is different from Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings was the successor of Lord Clive, and this is Lord Hastings. He comes much later. So, under Lord Hastings, a new policy of paramountcy was initiated. Now, the company claimed that its authority was supreme, hence, its power was greater than any other Indian state. In order to protect its interests, it justified in annexing or threatening to annex any Indian kingdom. This view continued to guide later British policies as well. So, to protect their own trading interests, the company justified their move of taking over any and every Indian state which can come in their way, which can put up a resistance, which can protest. Okay. So, just to safeguard their own trading interests, the East India Company justified their annexation or taking over of various Indian states. In the late 1830s, the East India Company became worried about Russia. It imagined that Russia might expand into Asia and enter India from the northwest. Now, Russian Empire at that point of time was a very big empire with its borders almost reaching Afghanistan. Just imagine Afghanistan sharing border with Russian Empire. So, the East India Company became worried that Russia might expand across Asia and enter India from the northwest, that is from the direction of Afghanistan. So if Russia does that, the East India Company would be powerless to stop it. Driven by this fear, the British now wanted to secure their control over Northwest. They fought a prolonged war with Afghanistan between 1838 and 1842 and established indirect company rule there. Sindh was taken over in 1843 and next in line was Punjab, but the presence of Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab had somehow pushed the British back and stopped them from annexing Punjab. But after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the two battles that were fought between the Punjab Empire and the British East India Company resulted in the defeat of the Punjab Empire, and Punjab was eventually annexed. Now the final wave of territorial expansion by the East India Company occurred under the Governor Generalship of Lord Dalhousie. He was the Governor General from 1848 to 1856. He devised a policy that came to be known as the Doctrine of Lapse. The Doctrine of Lapse declared that if any Indian ruler died without a male heir, without a male successor, his kingdom would become a part of the company territory. So by this logic, one kingdom after another was annexed, simply applying this doctrine. The Doctrine of Lapse, which was used for occupying states like Satara in 1848, Sambalpur in 1850, Udaipur in 1852, Nagpur in 1853, Jhansi in 1854. Finally, in 1856, the company also took Awadh. Awadh was the prosperous kingdom of Lucknow. Lucknow was the capital of Awadh. But while taking over Awadh, the company did not apply the Doctrine of Lapse. Instead of Doctrine of Lapse, what they did was applying the argument that the kingdom of Awadh was very badly governed by its king, the Nawab. Now, at that time, the Nawab of Awadh was Wajid Ali Shah. Now, Wajid Ali Shah was a very artistic person. He was the Nawab, but he did not have much to do since the British have taken over most of Awadh by that time. So whatever Awadh was left, he was the Nawab of it, but he spent most of his time doing artistic things like writing poems, singing, dancing, inventing dance styles like Kathak was invented by Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. So he was a man of many cultures. He was a very culturally rich man. But the argument by the British was that he was not ruling his kingdom well, which was not the case, because the people of Awadh basically loved their ruler. So that the argument about misgovernment did not stand. But the company already had supreme power by that time, so there was no difficulty in removing the Nawab and taking over Awadh. The Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was deposed in 1856 and he was exiled to Kolkata. He was also credited with inventing the Kolkata biryani. That is a very interesting point. Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was the inventor of Kolkata biryani, and specifically putting that aloo in Kolkata biryani, that is specifically one of the inventions of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. So we are done up till this point. I am stopping here. In the next tutorial video we will continue with this chapter, how Warren Hastings shaped the administration of the company, how they created an effective administrating system. We will learn about that. Till then, bye.